Hi everyone, travel addict guy here with another update on the crisis here in Spain, and I'm standing in front of the Vialia. It's behind me, and that is also known as Maria Zambrano. The train station here in Malaga. You can connect to all the high-speed trains and rail throughout Spain from here. This is an international destination. You can get to Madrid, you can get to Barcelona, you can go to Sevilla from here as well, just about anywhere in Spain. It's also a mall behind me, and I have some good news to report today. Finally, Spain exits the extreme risk virus zone by falling below an incidence rate of 250 per 100,000. So that is quite good. The last time that Spain as a whole was outside of the extreme risk zone for the C-19 was on Tuesday, December the 22nd. On that date, the national 14-day cumulative incidence rate stood at 236 cases per 100,000 inhabitants. Since then, and during the 63 days until this Tuesday, February the 23rd, Spain has been hit hard by the Christmas effect and the new strains that appeared in the country. On Wednesday, January the 27th, the country touched an incident rate of 900 per 100,000. But this Tuesday, the incidence rate finally dropped below the 250 extremely high risk bar. The rate had fallen to 235.84 cases, which places the country in a high risk zone, but still very far from the ideal 50 positives per 100,000 inhabitants. So some good news to report today. The junta, which is the national government here in Andalusia, with the president being Juanma Moreno, they met recently. That was yesterday, in fact, and they discussed the plans. They're going to meet once a week from now on, and that's what they're doing. They have announced that the restrictions will stay the same, even though they've had a drop in incidents here in Andalusia. They're going to stay the same, and they are getting ready to celebrate the Andalusia Day, which is Sunday, the 28th of February. So maybe that is the reason. That is a big day here. A lot of parties normally go on during that time, and they probably are trying to keep that at a minimum. So they're going to go ahead and keep the restrictions the way they are for now, but they're going to meet once a week to determine if they're going to change those in the future. So they are flexible as of now. Andalusia adds 100 more virus deaths as the region's incidence rate drops to 259 per 100,000 inhabitants. Seville is the province with the most deaths in the last 24 hours, and Malaga, the one with the most positive cases. Andalusia has registered 721 new cases of the C-19 this Tuesday, up from the 650 recorded on Monday, but fewer than the 972 on the same day last week, according to official data published by the regional government. The Junta de Andalucía has also reported 100 deaths in the last 24 hours, the highest daily figure since last Tuesday, that is February the 16th, when 113 were added. The cumulative incidence rate for the region has dropped to 259 cases per 100,000 inhabitants in the last 14 days, which is 20.4 points down on Monday. It was 279.4 and a 192.1 drop from last Tuesday, where it was standing at 451.1. Seville is the province that has registered the most deaths in the latest 24-hour period, with 28, followed by Cadiz with 20, Malaga with 14, Jaén with 10, Cordoba with 9, Granada with 8, Almeria with 7, and Huelva with 4. Malaga, unfortunately, is the province with the most new cases of the virus, with 194, followed by Seville with 149, Cadiz with 148, Almeria with 106, Granada with 79, Jaén with 40, Huelva with only 5, and Cordoba with no new cases. So one more thing I wanted to touch on, and there is a shortage of doses of the vaccine, which leads to delays in the vaccination of the elderly in health centers. The campaign to vaccinate the over 80s who live in the community has been hit, as only half of the planned Pfizer doses have been received this week. The vaccination of people over 80 years of age who do not live in care homes in the south of Spain will be severely affected this week as the region receives only half of the planned doses from Pfizer. So that is an issue right now. They are running short on the vaccines, and that is also slowing down the process. So we need to get to that herd immunity, and we are far, far from it now. So let's hope they can get those vaccines and they can get started again with the vaccination process so we can get everything opened back up. That is what we need to do. Fingers crossed there. So a little bit of positive information to give you today on the crisis. So behind me is the mall. That is the Vialia, and it is also known as Maria Zambrano. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to enter there. I'm gonna go ahead and walk around and see what it looks like inside. Let's take a look at what is inside there. What are we gonna find? Are we gonna find some people inside there shopping, or deserted area? Let's go and see. Wow, it's super quiet in here, guys. There's hardly anyone here. Just myself. Look at this. Wow. Hardly anyone here in this mall right now. So someone told me to come into this mall. I think it was Mariana. So hello to her. And she said to come to the mall and walk around. And wow, there's no one here, guys. Just a handful of people. And they just had a big reopening in Malaga, and there's no one here. Wow. So the mall is very desolate. Look at this. And here's the shot from above. Very few people here in this mall, Vialia, right now. Wow. Super quiet. Not a lot of business going on right here. So here's the food court, and look at this, completely shut down. Wow, there's nobody here. There's a couple people eating in one spot, and that is it. Hardly anyone. Wow, it is really desolate, this mall. This is shocking. Very shocking to see this, guys. This is quite interesting here. It says que todo esto no acabe en el mar. So it's saying that all of this should not end up in the sea. And they're showing the mask and the gloves. So that is another concern. All of these items, these masks and these gloves, they can contaminate the ocean, the sea, and they are doing that right now. These masks, when you throw them away, a lot of them are ending up in the sea, and they can contaminate everything. So that is another concern, causing another problem with these masks and gloves. And we're at the big train station here in Malaga, which I talked about, and there it is. You can see nobody. The trains are all stopped. There are no passengers right now. Unfortunately, no one taking the train here at all at this moment. And those trains are just sitting there, waiting to be used. And when will that time come? So walking through this mall here, guys, and very quiet. A few customers, not many. Walking past most of these shops, and there are no customers inside. Most of the stores I saw, there was no one inside. I walked by them and there was no one, maybe one person. And this is after the big grand reopening here in Malaga. So maybe the weekend it will pick up, but like I said, around 4:30, and they have to shut down at 6. And there's no clients. It's 4:30 right now, a few minutes after. So very quiet inside the malls. Thank you for that recommendation, Mariana. She told me to go in there and look at the mall. She was 100% correct on that. Mariana. There is no one inside of there. Hola, amigo. And yes, a lot of guys hanging around here, probably trying to collect some money or some tips. This is where these guys hang out sometimes. Around the stations, because a lot of the customers are coming in, or they were, and the foreigners, and they could maybe make a quick few dollars from the tourists, asking for some money or something to eat or a coffee. And a lot of times the tourists are generous and will buy them something. So very desolate mall here. Wow, that is a shame to see that. If I would have walked through there, I would have thought it was still a lockdown going on almost. Very little business to show. So another shop behind me that is new, they're putting a new one in here, and that is called Malvone, and it is an empanada shop. So they do have a few new places here in Malaga. So it seems like these chains are coming in. I think that is a chain of empanada shops. They're coming in and they're buying up all of these old places that have gone out of business. So that's what's probably going to be the future. We talked about that the other day. You're going to see a lot more of these chain stores here in Spain, unfortunately. So you can see it was very, very quiet inside the mall. We did get a look around in there and not much going on, unfortunately. So that is the case here. Wow, stunningly quiet inside the mall. You can see those trains there. They are just not going anywhere at the moment, unfortunately. So we'll see you in the next video. That is the update here from Malaga, Andalusia, south of Spain. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Travel Addict Guy.